This is the Mazz and Bads Show with Brandon Marrazzo and Charlie Baduini.
I thought you were going.
Dude, you're so much better at intros than me.
All right, well, you know what it is. We're already back with it. Another one, episode number 20 about to be in the books. You know what it is, Mazz and Bad Show. I'm your host, Brandon Marrazzo. Join with me, if you don't know already, you've been living under a rock, Charlito Baduini. You're saying it's the Ed Reed episode. I'm telling you right now it's basketball season because the NFL's broke my heart. So I'm saying it's Ray Allen episode, but it is what it is. We're going to be covering both here. But football sells, so I guess that's where we got to start with. And I got to be honest with you. I have no hope. I hate this season, and everything sucks. Dak tore his hamstring. I know I sound like a baby. I know I feel like we always start with my team. And you know what? That's what happens when you ask me to host. So it is what it is. Dallas is screwed. I have two different scenarios for you, right? Okay. I'm hearing people say I think a trade needs to happen. I think that's the only way that you can get out of all of this. On one hand, people are saying you tank, you trade Dak, you go pick up Shedeur Sanders, and that's going to bring you a new coach with you in Coach Prime.
Oh.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want this. I don't love it. Okay? Shedeur's pretty good. I'll give him that. I don't know if Prime's going to fix all the problems that we have. If anything, I feel like it's just going to add to the circus that we already have going on here. You know? Because if we do that, it's not just a little rebuild. You are tearing everything down. You got to start from scratch, I feel like. Now,
not necessarily.
You don't think so?
No, I mean you're not getting rid of CD in that scenario. You're not getting rid of Micah in that scenario. You have some cornerstones to build off of.
I feel like everything that everything that they're going to need, right? Dak has elevated wide receivers. You're going to need to go get a whole new core. Shedeur ain't elevating nothing. All right, he's a rookie. He might be able to move a little better than Dak. All right, there might be a little more flashiness to it, but he's not going to play more effective in year one than the guy who literally just came off an MVP caliber season last year. Nothing changed. Everywhere else around you got better. That's why they've been in a down year, and the offensive line is worse than ever. Okay? Rookie quarterback's not changing that. You go that route, that's a whole new pressure for him to deal with. You got to tear down the entire thing. Yes, you keep CD. Yes, you keep Micah. But everything else needs to be built up. You still need to get wide receivers. You still need that offensive line, right? And you don't even know if the kid's going to pan out or not. You're just going with the rookie just because he has decent numbers, and you're looking for some new energy in a one spot that I firmly believe you don't need new energy. That thing's cemented, all right? Even in a down year, they were still in games because of the way that Dak has played. Look at that Baltimore game this season, all right? They almost came back. They didn't win it, I got you, but maybe if he had someone else to throw to besides CeeDee Lamb, who still hasn't done nothing in second halves of games just because teams either zone in or it's an effort thing, I don't really know, but you can't tell me Dak has been the problem. He hasn't played great, I will tell you that, but I see holes everywhere else on this team. Now, here's the second scenario. We trade my favorite player, which hurts, but kind of makes more sense to me. And that's Micah. Just because you are in cap hell right now. And I've said this before, Micah did not perform the way that I expected him to in this contract year. If he was putting up numbers from last year, the year before, yeah, we could absolutely talk about this. And I'd be screaming at the top of the mountain. And I know what people are going to say, oh, it's one bad year, but yeah, my problem is, dude, you're facing double teams, not triple teams. You faced it your entire career, and you got beat this year. Then the injury happened, right? And now people can hit me with, yes, Dak's injury prone now, and I can agree to that, all right? You've had the ankle, now the hamstring, the thumb, okay, I hear you, but they've all kind of been freak accidents. It's not like he's just hitting no contacts. Every single one of them has been a contact injury, all right? So I'm not really concerned about that. Micah, on the other hand, has that one injury coming in, right? So who knows to say that that doesn't happen? I don't even remember if that was a contact one or not, but regardless of the fact, think about the hole that you get for a prime edge rusher right now. It literally, not just the prime, the very beginning of the prime.
Yeah.
I think that could fix a lot of things. I don't want to trade Micah. I'm just saying I think it makes more sense. Because keeping all three, you've already locked up CD. He's not going anywhere. You locked up Dak. You could trade him. You'd look stupid if you did that. I just think it's more valuable than the edge rusher. Micah's the only one that makes sense if you have to trade one. I don't know how else to get out of it unless they're going to have the draft of a lifetime, which don't get me wrong, Jerry hits on drafts, but it's not like he's hitting every pick. We took freaking Taco Charlton over TJ Watt for crying out loud.
All right, so while you were in the midst of that rant, I pulled up the Dallas Cowboys cap table going into next season.
Yep.
And I hate to tell you, Mazz, but there really isn't a whole lot of things they can do besides to make room, make flexibility besides moving Micah Parsons, because Dak's got a $90 million cap hit next year. If he's traded or cut, it turns into a $150 million dead cap hit, which is basically half of your entire cap space, a little more than half. You're not getting off a CD. CD's a $58 million dead cap hit, but you wouldn't get rid of him anyway. Terrence Steele's making $18 million next year. Trayvon Diggs, $14 million. It's the only players I can see where you can kind of trim some fat here is DeMarcus Lawrence. Malik Hooker, for some reason, has a $7.7 million cap hit next year. Brandon Cooks, that clears $4 million off the books. Yeah, it seems to me that Dallas Cowboys next year with a new coach, they're going to be running this core back essentially. Micah will be playing on that fifth-year option. I think they try it one more time, and then maybe in 2026 you can try and blow it up. But
you got to go new coach first and foremost, right? They need a new energy. They need someone that can take the reins a hold of it. My problem with it is who you planning on bringing in? I've been yelling for Bill Belichick. That's not necessarily a guarantee, right? DeMarcus Lawrence, thank you for your service. You have not done enough for me to justify those contracts. Anybody in the secondary, if your contract is up, I'm fine with letting you go. And that's including Trey Diggs, because y'all ain't doing nothing for me. All right? Ain't nobody has played at a caliber besides Stephon Gilmore, who we already lost, for me to justify we absolutely need to keep that guy after last season and what I've seen from this season. All right? Anybody in the secondary, your contract's up, deuces. I can literally go draft a rookie to do what you guys are doing at this point. All right, in the third, fourth round, for crying out loud. And then that brings me to just the glaring problem. How many times are they going to bring in a wide receiver that does nothing? That just does nothing.
The wide receiver market is definitely the strong suit of free agency coming up this spring. You got Stephon Diggs, T. Higgins, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, Deontay Johnson.
They can't even pay any of those guys. That's my problem. But I need you to go get a legitimate wide receiver, too. I don't care where you get it from. It sure as hell wasn't from the Panthers for more capital than what we got for Amari Cooper back, for crying out loud. It's just like, dude, I feel like we just make the wrong move at every turn these days when it just comes to manage. Every time Dak goes down, things just fall apart. And things were already falling apart. Now they've gotten even worse. We saw Trey Lance for 5 passes. We started Cooper Rush. Why? We know what that is. We've already lost the season. We're not winning a goddamn thing. So let's put in Trey Lance when the game's already crap. All right, he's got no confidence to begin with. Throws the interception. I don't even think he threw a pass after the damn interception, if I'm not mistaken. It's just absolutely misplacement of judgment everywhere you look with this organization. And I got to be honest, I know we've talked about it ad nauseum. I think Jerry Jones needs to look himself in the mirror and just like a certain president, it ain't what it used to be, and it's time to pass the reins.
I mean, it's a little different in that scenario because he's just passing the reins to his son. So,
sure.
I mean, but who knows?
But so actually, that could be worse. That actually could be worse, yeah. Because when you think about this, right? It is so much easier for, I think, intelligent people to pass the reins to an understudy than it is to a legacy. For the sole fact of you want to micromanage everything when it's a son, when it's a daughter, when it's a protege, they kind of earn your respect more. So it's like I have more confidence in passing that off if that's the point that I'm going to. I think of that Shark Tank episode where the entrepreneur came in. The guy was already mad successful, and he literally was helping the understudy come get a deal. And it was literally because he was at an older age. I'm not sure if the guy had a condition going on or not, but he literally said, I don't have it in me to build another company, but I know that I could leave this young man in your guys' hands and you'll show him the right way and help him build this thing. That's the mindset that I think of when you have an understudy. I think everybody should have a protege when they're in a field, honestly, because at some point you got to let go of the reins. And you could sit there and you could be, that jealous person that doesn't want to see the next generation prosper, or you could be a part of the solution, help raise and foster that, and still leave your legacy, and you'll know that it's in a good direction that's still tied to you. But it all depends on how people want to look at it. I don't think Jerry gives a damn. I think Jerry wants all the glory now.
Yeah, but he's running out of time there, especially with the team that he has constructed. The window seems to be closing on this. I don't know if this era of Cowboys football, the Mike McCarthy era,
It's the era's been closed since the 90s. It was closed during Tony Romo. Before that, it was closed during Drew Bledsoe. And now here we are with Dak. There's no window.
They were competing.
Sure, but the window has been shut. They never opened it, is what I'm saying, right? They might have cracked it. They've never got the window wide open. How many times are they going to go to the playoffs and they just fall apart? You know what? This window could have been something if you would have got the contracts done with CD and Dak earlier on instead of waiting until the damn last hour, right? You could have got something if you would have just restructured those contracts and given those guys the money that they wanted, but being like, yo, we need it to be team-friendly, not in the total money, just how we're going to structure this thing. You guys are going to be paid down on the back end. And we're legitimately going to go in for this season because there were some pieces that we could have brought in to actually make an impact. But, oh, wait. We literally watched every single one of them get signed. And now we're sitting here bitching about a cap space that you created. What are we doing? Makes no sense. You're a bum. Get out of here.
All right, well, yeah, the Cowboys stink. And they already have their eye on 2025. And so should the New York Jets. If we're gonna talk about your team, we're talking about my team too.
Okay.
Who had a chance to walk into Arizona on Sunday and keep their season hopes alive with a win against a Cardinals team that's good, not world beaters. They're a good football team, not unbeatable. But the Jets made them look like the 1990 Cowboys or the 1980s 49ers. You know what I mean? They just looked unstoppable. The Jets can't tackle. All their players seem to be playing for themselves these days. No one's playing for a greater purpose, a greater good. And that kind of goes back to the whole Robert Saleh firing. And Mazz, I know, we did a podcast the day he got fired, and I think mass consensus around the football world was, yeah, Robert Saleh is not a good football coach. Did he deserve to be fired right this second? Maybe not, but not the worst move in the world. But now with perfect 2020 hindsight, we can now definitively say that it doesn't matter how bad of a football coach you think he was, firing him 4 or 5 games in was a terrible idea.
No.
No?
You could fire him. You don't promote the guys who are only capable of reaching the same level as him, max potential, to get in there. If you're going to fire him, you go get a Rex Ryan. All right, you go get new energy in the building. All right, you do not fire a guy and then, we're going to go with our interim coach here, even though the literal problems that you had were the entire environment surrounding the team. All right, there was no tradition. There's no work ethic. There's no standard in that building right now for the Jets. And to say, we'll get to the Giants down the road, but you don't promote the guy who's literally just a worse version of the guy you fired. All right? You literally saw Sauce Gardner basically hint at that, we shouldn't have let him go. Things have gotten worse. Who is in control of this franchise? Nobody knows. It sure as hell ain't Woody Johnson. It sure as hell ain't the GM. Maybe it's Aaron Rodgers, and he's doing a horrible job of it. You can't tell me it's the new interim head coach who's your defensive coordinator. He ain't doing nothing, even though I kind of like the guy. But, that ain't a leader of men. That's put me in my corner, let me handle my sector, and we'll try to get the job done. It's just everywhere you look, there has been... You know what I can at least say? I said this, I think, to Ant over the weekend. I'm at least happy knowing that my team sucks mainly because of injuries right now and some incompetency. The Jets suck literally just because of incompetency. You look on it, I mean, that is one of the best rosters on paper in the NFL, and they just cannot get it together. And that's got to be a kick in the family, Jules, for you and all your fellow Jets fans out there, because this was literally, we watched you guys go all in. I just question if they went all in the right places. I can't even fault you for the moves that you made. I genuinely thought you guys made all the right moves. It's just the Jets are gonna. You hate this. I know you hate this. The Jets are gonna jet. The problem is there's an incompetency problem in the building. Leadership is a problem. Nobody knows what direction to march in.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem right now, and that's why I'm saying it was a bad idea to fire Robert Saleh, because and I said this the day they fired him. You're about 6 months too late. They should have fired him after last season. They should have gotten an entire brand new coaching staff in for this season coming in, because they can't swing it. They can't figure it out. And also, maybe if you fire the head coach, maybe don't promote the defensive coordinator that is trying his best to hold things down. Look at the Saints. They fired Dennis Allen. Who'd they promote? They promoted Rizzi, the special teams coordinator. And look at them. They had a jab of adrenaline on Sunday. They beat a Falcons team that is playing good football, and the Saints had been on a 7-game losing streak, and they got the win. Jeff Ulbrich is stretched way too thin right now. He's focused on the defense, which has been falling apart piece by piece since Robert Saleh got. I mean, the defense has not been as good as it's been the last 2 years. They were lights out last year, lights out the year before. This year, they forgot how to tackle, and they can't cover, and they can't stop the run, and they do not force turnovers. The Jets haven't had a turnover since week 3.
Do you think there's an Aaron Rodgers comfortability factor in there?
What do you mean comfortability?
So, when this is going to be a soccer analogy for you. When my man Cristiano Ronaldo got over to Juventus over in Italy, right, just came from Real Madrid, they won everything there was to win in Italy. They did not get over the hump in the Champions League. And after he left and went back to England, they were interviewing players and legends on that team, like my man Collini, and literally said, we played comfortably because when he's on the field, it's like we're already up 1-0. Like, he's just that presence where it's like, even when things are going bad, guys aren't stepping up because they're expecting him to step up. Do you think that aura of Aaron Rodgers, where it's just like, Aaron's going to save all of us, so maybe we don't have to go as hard? Things are going bad. That's going to be the savior?
I would say no, because I mean, like, what does the defense have to do with the offense? The offensive, I mean, like, I'm sure there's complementary football being played, like the team is playing as a whole unit, but it just like, no, that doesn't make sense to me in football, especially when it's different sides of the ball. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think there's a talent problem, especially, and I said this going into the season. The defensive line is they're stocked with edge rushers, but they didn't have any big boys in the middle to stop the run. Linebackers are good, corners are good, safeties are meh. It's just they're not playing as a cohesive unit. Everyone's playing for themselves, watching out for injuries, and everyone just wants to get their next contract. And I think that's what happened when you got rid of their. And this could be a good or a bad thing, but Robert Saleh was their guy. He was their like protector. He was the one who took the shots for the defense whenever they didn't step up. You know what I mean? And now that he's gone, I just think half these players have checked out, especially the guys who were on the last year of their contract and are knowing that they're not. Hey, I'm not going to be here next year.
Yeah, I will never understand firing the guy that on the defensive side, even though yes, he is the head coach, but it's like the offense was the main issue, has been the main issue. Even with now the defense has become an issue, but they were doing fine before he got fired.
Yeah.
You know, and now everything's just crumbled. So, like I said, if you're going to fire him, you need to bring in the biggest shot of adrenaline, and they did not do that. Or you don't fire him and you just attack the problem, which is literally we need an offensive-minded guy. It's not like there's not guys out there. I mean, people might hate this. I'm pretty sure isn't Frank Reich still out there? You could have brought him in as an offensive coordinator.
They
You guys been known to work with stuff.
They tried to. There was a handful of guys who they reached out to in the offseason to come in and be a senior offensive assistant because Nathaniel Hackett was the offensive coordinator and he was untouchable because Aaron Rodgers made him untouchable. So Robert Saleh offered that role to Cliff Kingsbury, Frank Reich, and Arthur Smith, and all three of them turned it down because they said, all right, well, you're giving me the responsibilities of an offensive coordinator, but I'm not the offensive coordinator. And that, from the get-go, is probably what screwed the Jets this season.
So that's what I'm saying, is that I would have called. I'm pretty sure Frank Reich's still out there. I know the other two are with teams.
Obviously, they took jobs because they wanted to be offensive coordinators,
Yeah, so I would have at least called Frank Reich or anybody else that was sitting on the sidelines being like, yo, he's gone and I need an OC, and I'm so sorry that we didn't go with you sooner. I would have just thrown Aaron underneath the bus in that private phone call. Just be like, yo, listen, that was his guy, and it sure as hell ain't working. It's horrible, but now we got the reins back. Let us put the power in you. Yeah, I can't blame any of those guys for not taking the job. Like, you want me to do all the responsibility and not get the glory for it? Like, yeah, maybe the inner circles will know what's going on, but no thank you. Imagine being asked to take a lower position to a guy who's clearly not as qualified as you. Not happening, buddy. Yeah, not happening.
Like, did they really think one of these guys was going to be like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? Like,
yeah,
it's ridiculous. But so there is good news to all this, Mazz. And that is the Jets should be, and I know I've been a little pessimistic about this in the past, they should be a relatively solid destination in terms of new general managers, new head coaches. So going into next season, they can clear so much cap space with a lot of guys. Now, this doesn't include the fact that Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and Sauce Gardner, or I should probably be calling him Ahmad because he's not Sauce anymore. He lost the sauce. He did.
Okay.
Those guys are all. Yeah, he's having a really bad year, like really bad. Coverage skills are still good. He's not physical at all. I don't know what happened. It's just not been great.
The aura wore off, and everybody realized, like, yeah, he's good in coverage, but if all I got to do is just press him a little bit,
if I run at him,
he gets pressed, it's wraps, bro. Like, he is a corner's corner. He's not a linebacker's corner, all right? He's a corner's corner.
Which isn't a bad thing, but
fine.
But
someone else got to get out there and make the damn tackle.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Like he's talented enough in coverage to like warrant staying on the field, but you need to scheme around that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Devontae Adams, here's the question: Is Aaron Rodgers coming back next year under a new regime or not? Because that's 100% certain that the Jets will be bringing in a new coach, new GM. It's going to be up to Rodgers if he wants to stay or not. And I could see it going both ways. I could see him saying, you know what, physically I'm not there anymore. This last season was so bad that I think I'm just done with football. Or
not happening.
Or he could say, you know what, I don't want to go out like that. I don't want people to remember me as this past season me. Let's go one more time. I'll play quarterback for you guys next year. Or he could say, I don't want to stop playing, but I don't want to be here. Because it really all depends on the direction of the Jets. Are they going full tank mode next year? Are they're stripping it down to the studs and bringing in, playing rookies all over the roster, or are they going to try and run back this core that has potential, but has nothing above them to guide them in the right direction?
I think if I'm them personally, that's where I go rookie quarterback. Like, I did everything that you asked for. And I know people are like, oh, bro, you're such a homer. You're going to give another chance to Dak Prescott, but you're not going to give one to Aaron Rodgers. Here's the difference. They gave Aaron every goddamn thing he wanted, and it still didn't work out. Everything from day one. What do you need, buddy? We'll go out and get it. Oh, you want some linemen? We'll go get you some linemen. Oh, you want your buddy from Green Bay and Alan Lazard? We'll go get Alan Lazard. Oh, you want your other buddy in Devontae Adams? We'll go get you Devontae Adams. Oh, we even get you another wide receiver in there, in Mike Williams, that you could never goddamn link up with. We'll even go get you your offensive coordinator, who just had one of the worst seasons as a head coach we've ever freaking seen. We've done every goddamn thing you wanted, and it still wasn't enough. And it's still not going to be enough. I'm almost positive that there's like 7 guys from Green Bay that's on that roster in some capacity right now, just because of comfortability and he likes them and ended up hooking up the boys. Dude, I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is done, because we've been saying that for how long, and then the son of a bitch comes back and wins another MVP, right? But I am saying this. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I don't even know what to do, because it's like, damn, I put this together. This literally isn't working out, and it's on me. Am I just going to be determined and stay and make it work? I'll have respect for that. But Aaron Rodgers hasn't been known to do that. I think Aaron Rodgers is actually going to throw a temper tantrum and is going to force his way. And I'm calling my shot right now. I would not be surprised if Aaron Rodgers ends up playing for, I don't know, the Raiders.
I thought you were going to say the Vikings, just out of
No, dude, I don't know, dude. Don't even. You know what? You brought up Kyler Murray, and I got Kyler Murray and Sam Darnold in one fantasy league, and I choose the wrong one every goddamn week. It's so annoying.
Did you bench Kyler for Sam Darnold this past weekend?
He was playing Jacksonville. He threw 3 interceptions against Jacksonville. You can't even blame me for that. I had some faith that the Jets were going to be able to pick off Kyler Murray. Turns out he's the tornado kid and just wreaked havoc all over you guys. And, yeah, I should have went with Kyler, and I went with Sam Darnold, and I just can't get it right. It is the most frustrating thing. However, I didn't lose the week, which is nice.
Oh, wow,
but,
really?
Yeah, no, I generally absolutely insane, but I have lost other weeks strictly to not getting that matchup down, and it's the most annoying thing ever. Even on a good week, I choose the wrong one. But yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't. Aaron Rodgers doesn't scream fighter to me. Aaron Rodgers screams. Yeah, I'm well aware that this Windows is closing, and I'm gonna get out of here and just try something different.
All right. Here's my thing. I think by the time this year wraps up, his stock's going to be so low that no other team's going to even want him that bad, that they're going to trade for him. You know what I mean? Because that's the only way he's leaving is a trade.
Yep.
I really do think he comes back next year under a new head coach, and not necessarily with the eyes on the Super Bowl, but I think he would come and be a mentor for a young quarterback. In his age 42 season, I think he would do it.
You know who would go trade for him?
Who?
And you're going to hate this, because I don't know if you guys would even allow it to happen. That's a move Miami would look into.
They wouldn't trade him in division. No way.
You never know. Why? If you think that he's this garbage, why not?
I don't think he's that garbage.
But they might.
They might. I don't know.
Yeah, no. He's probably going to do the good old, I'm retiring, wait a year, and then try to come back, and it's going to be horrible.
It's going to be going on.
It's going to be so bad. It never
dude.
works. It never
summer.
works. It never works.
He's going to go back into the cave.
You know, he'll find a spiritual awakening. Do you know that they had him on Pat McAfee like they normally do? And it says on there that what accomplishments of Super Bowl MVP,
four-time
MVP. Ayahuasca enthusiast.
Yep.
Amazing.
Classic. Absolutely classic. But like I said, all things are not bad for the Jets. If Devontae Adams is gone next year, that's $30 million cleared off the cap. Alan Lazard, his ass is going to get cut. That's $7 million right there. C.J. Mosley, thank you for your service. That's $12 million right there.
Alan Lazard's not getting cut.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, if he's there, he's not getting cut.
Yes, he is.
It's not happening.
The Jets don't care anymore about whose Rodgers buddies are or not. I'm telling you.
I'm just saying.
And also, you said earlier a few minutes ago there was like 7 Packers on the roster. There's literally 2, not including Rodgers.
I can back this up.
Devontae Adams and Alan Lazard. Those are the only 2 players
that might be starting.
Mazz, I know this roster like the back of my hand. There are no former Jets on here besides him. You want to go back to last year? We can go back to last year. But there are no other Jets on the roster.
Maybe that was it. My apologies.
Last year you had Lazard, of course. You had Billy Turner, who was terrible. Randall Cobb. That's it. Okay. So give me a break, all right? Give me a break. Hey, I picked up a game over you this week.
Yeah, I what a week. What are we at? Am I only up 3 now, 2?
Yep. I went 10-4 this past weekend. You went 9-5 thanks to my last-minute pick to Detroit, which, by the way, I had an asterisk on from last week, so that wasn't an out-of-the-blue switch-up. Had an asterisk on it.
What? Didn't I have an asterisk on something last week?
Yeah, you had an asterisk on the Patriots and the Titans, and because Drake May played, you had the Patriots, and they lost.
Thanks, Drake May, you bum.
Hey, I mean, he's the only reason why they went to overtime.
Yeah, I don't regret it. It is what it is. Shout out my man Gino Verone for your bum-ass team.
Yeah, we whiffed on four picks. We both had the Giants in Germany, and that embarrassment to New York as they lost the lowly Panthers. We both had the Bears, who got upset by the Patriots, of course. We both had the Falcons, who got upset by the Saints, and we both had the Jets, who for some reason, why were the Jets even favored going into that game?
Did you say the Bears got upset by the Patriots?
Yeah.
I thought they lost to Tennessee.
That was 2 weeks ago. This was this past weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, you good.
I have a full-blown confession for you right now.
Hit me.
Presidential election the past 2 weeks, I have been so out of step in sports, it's not even funny.
Wait, you're locked in on politics all of a sudden?
I was locked in for politics. Dude, I was looking at radio jobs for politics, and then I remembered, oh shit, the only really radio shows that are out there are like hardcore nutjob conservatives are the only ones that are really in like radio these days, unless you're, got Sirius XM. But yeah. I was like, dude, I'm as in the middle as it gets. I think both parties are horrible, and I cannot just be drinking the Kool-Aid and going over to the right. It's not happening. So that was like, all right, we're back to sports. The biggest thing in the world is over. We got a new president. It is what it is. And then boom, here we are.
Yeah, Sirius is pretty awful. I will say that. You want to know why?
They haven't got back to you?
No, they actually. So I've been applying to Sirius XM for almost 2 years now since I graduated college. Yeah. I finally heard back. The first time I ever heard back from one of their openings. It was for an assistant producer role down in Washington, D.C.
Uh-huh.
So I had a very nice conversation with this lady on the phone, and she says, all right, we're going to look to move you on to the second round of interviews, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, okay, cool. Just one quick question. So what's like the starting pay? Obviously, this is in Washington, D.C. I'd have to move down there to start this job. She said, $19 an hour in one of the most expensive cities in the world.
Yeah, that makes sense, though, buddy.
I know.
I don't know how you make it work, but it makes sense. This industry's a kick in the nuts, but you know what? Sometimes there's bright spots. And I firmly believe that it's coming for us, because our boy John Edmond just got his first crack at calling an NBA G League game last night.
Did he really?
For the Long Island Nets. I believe they were playing the Westchester Knicks. Can we get a round of applause for my man, John Edmond, one of the absolute legends, one of my personal mentors. Absolutely love that guy. We will be getting into basketball talk, but hey, he found a way in, and he's climbing up, which means that other doors are opening up, and our time is coming. We just got to stay patient, keep on the grind, and not lose hope, man. Everybody that I know, for the most part, it's taken about a year to get a foot in the door and then another year to start climbing, So, you never know, dude. These things, they happen. It is what it is. I think SiriusXM is a great company. I would love to work for them for sure. But like I said, I don't know if I want to. The flirtation with covering politics definitely went out the window real quick, because the magic hype of the presidential election, because what's cool, dude, it's like sports, just that one. It's like watching sports. You're sitting there and you're looking at it, you don't even give a damn who you're rooting for at one point. You're just like, who's it gonna be, and to watch each state just come on in. I wish we had like an animated graphic to just like show me like in real time just like what's happening. You know, I don't care if it was just like a little red figure and a little blue figure like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and then you just see it in the state, and then boom, when they declare it, just one of the heads goes up and they won that state. I don't know, but I firmly enjoyed this presidential election just for it's exciting, dude. Like, what's not to be excited about having? You want to talk about having like something brand new? What's new than a new president? Whether it was gonna be Kamala Harris, it is now Donald Trump. Like, it's something new, and it's just like, you know, whether you wanted it, whether you didn't want it, whatever it is, it's just like that excitement of just like, holy hell, what the hell's gonna happen? There's really nothing like it. It's on the level. I'd say it surpassed the Super Bowl for me, because I promise you I'm not staying up to 3 a.m. to watch a Super Bowl unless it's like in legitimate overtime. I was up till 3:30 and they still didn't call the damn thing, you know? And which, by the way, I'm on a conspiracy theory right here. Call me nuts. Maine, you started the count the same time as New Jersey. You have less citizens than New Jersey. Pennsylvania called their race before you. They have way more citizens than you. New Jersey called it way before you. It took Maine days to call their election, which it ended up being for Kamala Harris. But it's like, you guys really didn't know this? How many people you think live in Maine?
Let's go 600,000.
I think it's more than that, but I know that it's less than New Jersey. I'm going to say
1.4 mil.
I was going to say about 2, so I was off, but, you know, but you couldn't count 1.4 million in the night, are you? What the hell are you people doing up there?
I don't know.
I don't get it. At least Arizona and New Mexico, which took days, not New Mexico, my apologies, Nevada and Arizona, that took days, they at least started way later than everybody, and I got that, no problem. You started when you were allowed to start, like everybody else on the East Coast, and it took forever. You cannot convince me that that system is wrong up in Maine right now. I don't care who it was for, but for the fact that it took you that long to count those votes, and there's only 1 point, that's how many people live in it. Not everybody votes, Charlie. So we're dealing with less than 1.4, and the U.S. is pretty good at knowing their consensus for states, right? And like the total population. So given a margin of error, which apparently can be pretty big because Trump was supposed to lose this entire thing and he ends up winning by a landslide, but given the margin of error, right? Maybe there's a little more than 1.4, maybe there's a little less. Regardless of what it actually is, there's less people than the total population in the damn state voting, and y'all couldn't get me less than 1.4 in the night? What the hell are we doing?
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like, not even just Maine, but like just across the country in general, how it could take so long to like count votes like that. Like, aren't like some Senate races still going? Like they're still counting votes for something like that?
I believe so. I mean, that I understand, because then you have to go, like, not only do you have to count, you know, your presidential thing. So anybody that, like, goes, you go and you give, like, your ticket, you put it in there, you make the checks. I imagine they're not sitting there going, all right, we got a president here, we got a Senate here, and they do it that way, because I think that would be the smart way. I firmly believe we're sitting there going, it's too much to handle, so then we got to go through the president. Then once all the presidents counted in, then we got to come back for the Senate. And then once all the Senate's done, then we got to come back to the House, because we might be a little incompetent. Just a little.
Just a little bit.
But you know what? Shout out those people that work those polls, and that
Yeah, that can't be an easy.
A lot of them volunteer.
Fun job to do. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they're all volunteers. I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't think because like they don't want people like on the job with this.
On the take.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So.
You know, so I mean, like, dude, shout out them, but like, you cannot tell me Maine can't get counted all in one night. You just will never convince. Yeah. I'm not even asking you to get your Senate and House done in the night. I'm asking, can you just get me the President of the United States for Maine, their elect, by the night? That's all I'm asking. If you were Texas, California, which we already know where they're basically going anyway, but if we, like, for whatever reason, if they're not in, I gotcha. You guys are massive. It's Maine. Are you kidding me? The only one that could be worse is if Rhode Island or Delaware didn't get it done. That's the only ones that would be worse.
All right, Mazz, I got 2 bits of news for you before we head into picks for next week. Ready?
Okay.
So Anthony Richardson will be starting on Sunday against the Colts or against the Jets. You probably already might have seen that this morning. They made the switch back from Flacco to Richardson.
What are they doing?
I don't know. Because
Dude.
they said Flacco's the starter for the rest of the season, and then now they're saying Richardson's the starter for. I don't know.
One bad game, and that's. I'm sorry, 2 bad games. That's it. We're switching right back. Dude, what do you want as a franchise? I don't get it. What was the point of benching Richardson if you were just gonna go back to him that fast? I thought, hey, we're gonna shut him down just because he did get banged up the first year, and then he looked a little bit uncomfortable. And went down this year for a little bit as well. Like, I thought they were just shutting it down just because, like, hey, we're just buying time for next year. We want to get stronger. And that makes sense to me. I said, you pay these backup quarterbacks to go out there, and these are the situations that you put them in to take these hits, and it is what it is. I'm trying to protect the actual gem because right now there's no mantle to protect him. I got that. But just to go back to him, I don't get it. What are you doing? What do you want?
They probably
What do you want?
They probably like the matchup against the Jets, who can't play defense and can't stop the run and can't tackle. So they're just going to send him out there. I don't know. I don't know.
What you just said that we're going with Joe Flacco for the rest of the season. Oh wait, we're going with Anthony Richardson for the rest of the season. Dude, you ever try to get your girlfriend to just like pick a restaurant?
Yeah.
This is it. This is it. They don't know what they want. You make a suggestion? No, not that. I know it's not that. I don't know what I want, but it ain't that. Help me. Help you. Please.
Okay. Second bit of news. Boomer Esiason this morning on WFAN, who he's pretty plugged into the Jets organization. I don't know how. I don't want to say he has a direct pipeline to Woody Johnson, but he has a relatively good route.
Didn't he play for you guys for a little bit?
He did. So that might be it, but that was even before Woody bought the team. So
he's just been there. He's like the paint.
Yeah.
It came with the building.
Okay, yeah, hey, I like that. He named John Gruden this morning as a potential name to watch for the Jets head coach next year. Am I crazy to say I wouldn't hate that?
Yes, because John Gruden is a horrible human being.
But
Listen. The man's done his time. You can have your feelings about him. I'm still a little tight about it. But the fact of the matter is, it would be a good move. Because you want to talk about a shot of adrenaline. No matter how you feel about him, that's a shot of adrenaline for sure.
And also, from the first day he steps into the building, I think everybody knows who's calling the shots.
I think that is a guy of, even if he takes you the wrong direction, at least everybody's going the same way.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And honestly, he had something going in Vegas before he got ripped out of there.
Well, he just made the wrong moves, right? They should have gone, I genuinely before, yes, when he got ripped out of there because of the scandal, which he got scapegoated for, which you got bad guy because the bigger bad guy gave him up, okay? Like, that was absolutely an internal leak because they were just, hey, we need to get them off our trail right now because we were just doing so much BS down in Washington. Thank God there's a new owner. But I don't know, dude. He just puts faith in, like, guys, and it's like, we're riding and dying with him. And I've seen him die with them a couple of times.
I also think that's the kind of guy that Rodgers may stick around for as well.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, can you imagine an ayahuasca session?
It's not a
John Gruden and Aaron freaking Rodgers.
It's not a first time like hot shot coordinator. It's not like a guy who's stepping in and not knowing what, like, this is a guy who's been an NFL coach for almost, I think in total, like almost 15 years.
Yeah, I mean, won the Super Bowl with Tampa. After, I'm pretty sure it was the Raiders fired him. He went to Tampa, won, and then ends up back with the Raiders.
Yep.
Why not? I mean,
I
it's not the worst.
I wouldn't
hate it.
He's not at the top of my list. I think Mike Vrabel's at the top of my list. and then maybe Todd Monken. I'm not even going to put Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's going to pick his own team where he wants to go, and I highly doubt the Jets is that team.
Definitely not going to be the Jets. He's going to want young and hungry.
All right, here's my new 3-name short list for head coach of the Jets next year: Mike Vrabel, Todd Monken, John Gruden.
See, my only I'm fine with all of that. Why wouldn't you have just brought Rex in for an interim head coach?
Because it would have just added to the circus, man. It would.
There's no show right now. You walk in there and it's like you walk into. Imagine if you walked into the circus. The clowns are sitting on the sideline. The acrobats are just chilling up on the roof. All right, the ringmaster is literally smoking ayahuasca. This at least the circus would start moving again. All right.
I don't think you smoke ayahuasca. I think you drink ayahuasca.
I don't know what you do with it. All right? But the ringmaster's doing it, and it ain't working out. So, granted, yes, it might have added to the circus, but at least the circus would have got moving, and there might have been a show instead of the corpse that we're dealing with now of a franchise. You guys are more hollow than a 100-foot deep cave.
Yeah.
I just also realized that 100 feet isn't that much. I meant to say 100,000 feet deep cave. Whatever.
It's same difference. Let's be real.
You know what I meant. I made my point. All right. I'm not a grammar expert here. All right.
All right. Let's move forward and take a look at this weekend's games coming up because it's a pretty solid slate, I'd say.
Do we have to?
Yes, we do. Mazz, I've been cutting my deficit game by game, little by little for the past few weeks. Now I'm only down 3 picks to you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
What? You're welcome.
Yeah, just picking horrible. I let you back into this, right. and then I should have. There's a caveat here. I should have 4 games. You made me take the Cowboys. I didn't want to take the Cowboys. You made me take them.
You're going to be saying that the rest of the year, aren't you? If I win by 1 game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh my! You beat me by 2. I shut the hell up. 2 or more, not a problem. You beat me by 1, Charlie. I swear to God, I will be the most annoying. If I'm not already the most annoying person in your life, I will freaking every time you call me. Screw you. You made me take the Cowboys every time. Middle of the night, you're calling. You think it's an emergency. You think you need to save my life. Hey, buddy, I just want to let you know that I hate you for making me take the Cowboys.
All right. Well, hopefully it doesn't come to that, but. I guess we have 11,
hopefully
12,
I
13,
win.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 8 weeks to go in the NFL season before the playoffs start.
I'm already over.
I'm still having a good time.
Over. Dude, it's like I said, between the circus known as American politics and the Cowboys just being the clown show, I got to get back on track here. I've been watching basketball. You know, basketball is what's going to bring me back to life.
All right. Okay. And we'll get to that in a little bit, right after we pick these games. And I'm still all in on football season, man. I'm excited for Thursday night. Washington at Philadelphia for first place in the NFC East at Philly. Washington coming off that loss to Pittsburgh this past weekend, and Philly coming off a pretty dominating win against the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, Dak Prescott-less, but Philly 3.5 point favorites at home. Mazz, how are we feeling about this one?
Give me Philly. I feel like give me Philly because I think Jaden Daniels is good, but how are you going to handle that Philly crowd in Philly? That's my question. You also just came off a hard loss. Yes, you're not going to be playing as good as the defense. You will be playing a better offense. How are you guys going to be able to keep pace with them? I think Saquon Barkley's running all over the place in this game. Give me the Eagles.
I'm kind of leaning Washington here. And
Go ahead, take it. I want you to.
And so I'll tell you why. For some reason, the last few years, Philly's been great. Washington has not been good. This is their first great season in a really long time. But regardless, they always still seem to find a way to play Philly close. Always have. I remember a few years, 2 years ago, I think it was, 2 years ago, Philly was undefeated, I think like 9-0 going into like a Thursday night game, and Washington pulled off that upset, and it was a pretty big deal. This Commanders team, their offense is humming, the defense is meh, but I feel like Dan Quinn's going to find a way to slow things down for Philly because they haven't been perfect. You know what I mean? They've been relying a lot on Jalen Hurts pushing into the end zone, especially last week against the Cowboys, and they rely a lot on A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith making plays, and Saquon Barkley. I think Washington's going to do enough to stay in this game, and I think Jaden Daniels is going to find a way to win. I'm taking the Commanders.
Okay. Already starting off better than last week. That's for damn sure. I mean, good God, were we lockstep and key for almost every game?
We were lockstep and key for every game until I switched my pick from Houston to Detroit Sunday night.
Boo, boo, Charlie, boo.
All right, this one will probably be in lockstep for Jacksonville at Detroit. Detroit's 2-touchdown favorites at home here because Jacksonville is not going to have Trevor Lawrence. They'll be starting Mac Jones once again. Easy Detroit pick, Mazz.
It's not even a question. Yeah. Who would have thought? Everybody wants to hate on Trevor Lawrence. I've hated on Trevor Lawrence. But the fact is, they're worse without him, which just goes to show that my take that the Giants should go get Trevor Lawrence still stands because maybe if he has some competency around him, he could do something. But Jacksonville's a dumpster fire. I can't stand Mac Jones as a quarterback. I'm sorry. I see no talent there. And the Lions, even when Jared Goff throws 5 interceptions and 2 touchdowns, they win. This is going to be a mauling.
Lions versus Jaguars. That's kind of mauling. Did you do that on purpose?
I wasn't even thinking about the Jaguars. I was just thinking about like a lion with a mauling. But
nice.
Yeah, you know.
All right, NFC North matchup. 2 of the oldest teams in football. Green Bay Packers at Chicago Bears. The Bears are in a really tough spot right now.
New offensive coordinator.
New offensive coordinator. They just fired Luke Getsy yesterday morning. So hopefully that shakes some things up on that side of the ball. Green Bay coming off a bye.
Caleb Williams sat there and told the punter, you're not going to be doing much punting this year. He has more punting yards than they have total offense, I believe.
Yeah, so I think we're both rocking Green Bay here.
It's not even a question, especially given Matt LaFleur that extra week of preparation, Jordan Love that extra week of rest. Yeah, it's going to be a close one because this is at Soldier Field. But when I say close, I actually think Green Bay. Give me them by I don't know, touchdown plus. Give me a touchdown and a field goal, 10-point win.
10-point win for Green Bay. Okay, so yeah. Mazz is all over Green Bay 5.5 right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, interconference play. Los Angeles Rams headed out to New England to face the Patriots. I know the Patriots have picked up some wins the last few weeks. They just beat the Chicago Bears, but I'm rocking with the Rams.
It's not even a question. Give me Matt Stafford. He's been slinging it, man. You know, even the games that they're losing, he's still looking pretty good. They didn't trade Cooper Kupp, which I'm very surprised about, but nonetheless, I think the Rams are going to do enough. They're going to start making a push now. They kept the band together.
They were just.
I thought they should have blown it up.
They were waiting to get healthy. That's really what they're.
Yeah.
What the problem is.
I think that they honestly should have blown it up just because of age, but they're saying, hey, one last ride, why not? You know.
I think if after this season, whether they make the playoffs or not, I think you'll start to see him dismantle it a little bit for sure. I think you'll see Cooper Kupp get moved, maybe even Matt Stafford if he doesn't retire. But
see, I'm just so mad about that because I really wanted to see the Patriots end up with a Cooper Kupp. I thought it would have been so cool.
I wouldn't think
Nonetheless,
so.
No?
Personally, as a Jet fan, I wouldn't want to see Cooper Kupp.
I'm sorry, did I say Patriots? I meant to say Steelers.
Steelers?
My bad.
Okay.
I meant to say Steelers. I was looking at the Patriots logo, and that just took over the subconscious. But no, I want to see Russell Wilson with Cooper Kupp in that passing game. With George Pickens, I thought that they would have been pretty deadly. And I think Cooper Kupp just would have looked good in, black and yellow. You know what it is.
All right, on to a tank bowl. Cleveland Browns in New Orleans to play the Saints. This is a pick'em. Saints are 1.5-point favorites. I think I'm going to lean with Cleveland just because I like the way they were playing coming into the bye, going into the bye, and now here we are coming out of it. Give me Cleveland.
I hate you.
You were going to pick
so
Cleveland?
Much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have faith in the Saints, and Jameis is coming back to the dome, bro.
Yeah.
There's a little comfortability factor there. I absolutely see the Browns winning this one, and I see Jameis throwing for 3 touchdowns.
3?
3.
Wow.
Put it on them. They got worse in their secondary. They're not a good franchise. Give me 3 touchdowns and the Browns.
All right, we're both rocking with Cleveland there.
I know Matt Boucher is very upset with us right now, but
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's more upset with his franchise, though.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah. All right. Vikings at Titans. Vikings 5.5-point favorites. They're coming off a game where they didn't score a single touchdown. They won off purely field goals.
I hate them.
Yeah.
I hate them with all my heart. If I would have lost that game by taking Sam Darnold in fantasy, I would have never forgiven them. But they're going to get the job done because Tennessee's not good. And Sam Darnold's going to bounce back. I'm not saying I'm taking him for fantasy this week, although, damn it, I might have to because I think
Mr.
Kyler's
Kyler
on a
Murray's
bye.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch! All right. That's it. I not only am I rocking with the Vikings, I'm rocking with Sam Darnold, and he better not disappoint.
We'll see. Some of Sam Darnold's pixie dust magic is kind of worn off a little bit. I mean, he was an MVP candidate through the first 4 or 5 games of the season, and now he's...
What did I tell you? Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
That's him. He is who I thought he was.
He's the second coming?
Yeah, without the beard. I think
Yeah,
he's got a
he's
beard,
got
but
a beard,
it's
but
nowhere,
it's
nowhere
not as
near
fluffy.
the magicness. There are magical gnomes in that Fitzmagic beard, all right?
Yeah. All right.
They come out of hibernation for the first 4 games of a season and then go right back into hibernation.
Next up, the battle for the last wild card spot in the AFC. Indianapolis Colts at New York Jets. As we just talked about, the Colts are once again reinserting Anthony Richardson back into the starting lineup. The Jets coming off one of the most disappointing lack of energy, whatever else you want to say, performances in Arizona. Give me the Jets. I'm picking my team. I know people at this point of the season are starting to root for draft pick positions and tanking. Screw that, man. I just want to see my team win. I'm picking the Jets. I do.
You just want a dub?
I really don't care because no matter what draft position they get anyway, they'll just screw the pickup. So why not just win?
They put 20 on the Bills. But they are playing at MetLife, am I not? Am I correct?
It is a Jet home game. I will be in attendance.
Screw it, give me the Colts, dude. Just to rain on your parade and nothing else more. And they struggle against guys that can take off, and Richardson can take off, so, you know.
Yeah, I mean, clearly they can't tackle, so.
Yeah, you know, so we'll see what happens.
And Richardson's a big boy.
Give me the Colts. Why not?
All right.
Why not? I'm feeling frisky, baby.
All right, moving on. We got the Raiders and the Dolphins. That's a pretty easy Miami for me because
yeah, keep it moving.
Miami's starting to get into the swing of things now because they finally got Tua back. They're really, starting to do what they probably would have been doing this about the same as they'd probably be a 5-5, 6-5 team had Tua not gotten hurt.
All I know is I don't care what draft pick they have, they better go quarterback. All right, because if he goes down, there's literally nothing you can trust in.
Yeah, that or at least just get a competent backup.
Something. Just you got to pick up a quarterback. Yeah. Like somebody that is known to throw for 200 yards in a game. Anybody will do. Anybody.
All right, AFC North matchup: Baltimore at Pittsburgh. This might be the game of the weekend. Mazz, I'll let you take this one first.
Yo, you know what? If you do what I think you're going to do, I'm going to be so annoyed. I'm taking the Steelers in this one, man. I'm taking the Steelers. There is something going on. They're home. They play them tough all the time. And I love the Ravens, don't get me wrong. I just don't love the Ravens for this week. I think that defense, if anything, could stop that rush by Derrick Henry. This is the team that can do it. If anything's going to be putting pressure on Lamar Jackson, it's TJ Watt. And their defense has not been great. I think that Russ is going to put on a bit of a performance. Nothing spectacular, but I'm going to say 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, just under 300 yards. And both of those touchdowns are going to be caught by Mr. George Pickens. So.
I like the Steelers too. And
I knew you did. I literally knew you did. I think I'm going to get one over on him, and he's just going to take it right from me because That's just what happens.
The Steelers are going to be able to get stops. The Ravens are not going to be able to get stops.
I wonder what our record is when we go together.
Like when we both pick.
Like when we take the same team. Like I wonder what that record is.
It's okay.
Not great.
I mean, I'm just like I'm not counting right now. I'm just kind of scrolling back through the previous weeks. It's not bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder. Anyway, maybe we're the curse.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, I mean, last week we did pretty good.
Sure.
I don't know. Okay. We both got Pittsburgh. Moving onwards, another divisional matchup: Seattle at San Fran. I'm picking San Fran here.
It's not even a question. CMC's back, baby.
Yeah. Atlanta at Denver. That's interesting. Both teams coming off losses, divisional losses.
Yep.
Denver lost by 1 point to Kansas City thanks to that, or lost by 2 points thanks to that blocked field goal in Kansas City. Atlanta lost because of kicking woes from their own kicker, who missed. They lost by 3, and he missed 2 field goals, so they would have won if Young Hui Koo did his job that day.
Dude, I like the Falcons so much as a roster. I just don't see Sean Payton losing back-to-back games, especially coming off the Chiefs. They got the home field advantage. I gotta rock with the Denver Broncos in this one, man.
I think I'm with you there. Atlanta, an indoor team, outside against Denver. I'm with you there. I'm rocking Denver.
I hate that you did that.
I'm sorry. I was like split both ways, and then I thought of that dome team stuff because that's a real thing. People like to poo-poo that. It's a real thing. Teams that are more used to playing inside don't always fare well when they exit and go outside, and especially in Denver where you're in a higher altitude. Let's go with Denver.
One wind gust, you're screwed.
Now, this might be the actual game of the weekend. I totally forgot. Kansas City back in Buffalo, where the Chiefs were able to win in the divisional round last year in the playoffs. Buffalo's 1.5-point favorites. Mazz, I'll start. I think I'm going with Buffalo here. And I'll tell you why, because Buffalo, they're going to find ways to beat Kansas City in the regular season. But once the playoffs roll around, that's where they get their comeuppance. But we're not in the playoffs yet. We're still in the regular season. Give me Buffalo at home.
You're going to hate me right now.
Taking the Chiefs?
I want a caveat. If Amari Cooper plays, I'm rocking with the Bills. He doesn't play, I'm rocking with the Chiefs.
All right. I'm doing Buffalo asterisk.
Yeah, I need that. I need that because without Amari Cooper, I think the Chiefs win.
Need some protections there.
Yeah, you're gaining on me, and I'm getting a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. So I don't want just what is it? One game that's resting on it, and I took the Colts.
And don't forget Commanders Eagles. I got the Commanders.
Okay, fair. I'm fine with that one.
How about?
I don't know if I have a lot of faith in the Colts. That was strictly a spite you pick.
All right. How about Sunday Night Football? Cincinnati at Los Angeles Chargers. It's going to be a good game.
Dude, how are the Chargers the favorite in this game?
Because they're playing good football right now. That's why.
It's not going to be good enough. Joey Burrow is going to handle business, baby. They're keeping the season alive.
Yeah, the Bengals are in must-win mode, and the Chargers are playing good, but they're not great. You know what I mean? Like they find. What are you looking at me like that?
That's your boy. He's playing good football. You're not going to take him?
No. The Bengals need this game like oxygen. It's a wild card tiebreaker because they're not winning the division because they've gotten swept by Baltimore.
Yep.
They need this game, and I'm picking the desperate Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah. So we're both on Cincy there.
Yeah, we're both on Cincy there. It's not even a question.
Right.
I don't want to hear about Justin Herbert ever again. You don't even have faith in him. He's a favorite in this game. They're home.
I don't have faith in the team.
It's not even a good defense that they're facing.
I don't have faith in the rest of the team. I got faith in Justin Herbert.
Nah, whatever. Overrated.
Okay. Monday Night Football. Houston, Dallas. The Battle of Texas. Would have been a lot more fun of a game if Dak is... Oh, no.
The Battle of Texas? You mean the conquering of freaking Dallas? Are you kidding me? Who's even home for this game?
It's at Dallas.
It's the conquering of Dallas. There's no way they win this game. I don't even care that Stephon Diggs is out. It does not matter. The level of incompetency is everywhere. The yards that we need are all around us, and we're not capable of getting it, my friend. All right? We don't even need to spend much time on this. Keep it moving. We both took Houston, and let's ride off into the sunset and talk about some goddamn basketball. God, I hate you, Jerry.
All right, that's week 11 on deck. All picks are in now. Mazz, what about the NBA is sticking out to you so much right now?
Well, first off, my Lakers are the only team that I can believe in because the Yankees broke my heart, the Cowboys have disappointed me, and the only thing left to believe in is my Lakers, who are playing against the Grizzlies tonight. Unfortunately, my favorite player in the league, and Ja Morant, will not be playing. But
is he banged up right now, Ja?
Yeah, he hurt his hip. He's out for a couple weeks. Kid's just not staying healthy. It's unfortunate. But Anthony Davis is back, so I expect a big win there. And certain centers on their radar from Washington right now,
Who's that?
Jonas Valanciunas.
I forgot he's with the Wizards.
Yeah, dude, he's bounced around a little bit, but with the Wizards right now, don't think he's staying long. Hopefully he comes to La La Land because I could use a big body. But what really got me is that we saw the return of Klay Thompson last night to the Bay to face Golden State. And they gave him a homecoming. Just left. Gave him a homecoming like I've never seen somebody be given flowers in my life. We're talking video. We're talking... everybody's wearing captain hats because he had the boat captain hat and he was a captain of the team. Crowds wearing the captain hats. We're talking announcer asking for a standing ovation for him, not once but multiple times in the introduction. I mean, they gave him his flowers. They were cheering every time he touched the ball. It felt like too. But then I'm sure they were also really happy because he put up, I believe, like 20 points, and that was hitting some good threes. Let's see exactly what he put up. And behind door number 1, 22 points. My apologies. On 7 for 17, 6 of 12 from downtown. But it was ultimately Mr. Wardell, Stephen Curry, with 37 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. And went 5 for 12 from downtown for himself. Scored the final 12 points in the game for the Warriors to ultimately beat the Mavericks 120-117. What a battle.
I didn't realize the Warriors are 9-2 right now.
Oh, dude, they are cruising. I mean, they have a weird squad. It's like you got Steph, you got Dre, you got Wiggins, and then you got some young pieces, and I don't know, do you just ride the wave? Do you go and get something more experience and go for that win now and, maybe try to eke out one more championship? I don't know. It's such a hard decision.
Well, that's the kind of limbo the Warriors have been stuck in since their most previous championship in 22. I mean, the last few years they've been trying to find that balance between keeping the old championship core and trying to inject some youth there with guys like Moses Moody. What's the one? Kuminga, Pajemski, who they actually benched Klay for Pajemski a couple times last year.
Yep. Buddy Hield's there too.
Buddy Hield's there, and then also I think there's another. There's just and like I don't even know, man. I don't know if I can trust them.
What do you do? I can't trust this young core, although I think there's potential in it. I firmly believe Steph is the key to everything, So go get Steph something that can win now. Yes, Chris Paul didn't work out, but Chris Paul was also, there's being on top of the hill, over the hill, he's on the way down on the hill, They
wanted Paul George over the summer, but he chose Philadelphia.
I just, I really just think if they go, I throw his name out there all the time. I'm wearing the Miami hat. I just would love to see a Jimmy Butler playing with them. Like, just somebody who is themselves. The time is fading out to get a championship, and I just think that he just fits in very well. I mean, it basically like having Harrison Barnes and Andre Iguodala, only the better version of them And you're already looking at Paul George. Yes, it's not getting the 3-point shooting, but you're still getting the athleticism, the defense, the tenacity, better leadership. Dude, can you imagine opposing offenses having to deal with Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler on the same court?
Yeah, that's pretty. That's
You might just frustrate them off the court.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's definitely interesting to see how that one's going to shape place. Surprisingly, I don't know about you, but the one team that has absolutely blown me away, Charlie, the Cleveland Cavaliers are undefeated at 12-0.
Yeah, they are. And they're going to be 13-0 tonight because both Joel Embiid and Paul George are going to be sitting with load management. So they will be 13-0 by the next time. By this time tomorrow.
We'll come back to the Cavaliers. What the hell are the 76ers doing? How do you justify keeping a guy on the books? Joel Embiid's not going to play back-to-back games.
The entire season.
Why?
Because he's injury prone. They want to try and save him for the playoffs, but that's not the problem I have with the Sixers doing that, because the Clippers did that for years with Kawhi and Paul George. The problem I have with Philadelphia is they kept that information close to the vest until opening night, when they finally came out and said Embiid's not playing back-to-backs. The Clippers were very clear from the get-go with all of the Paul George, Kawhi Leonard stuff that, hey, these guys aren't going to play back-to-backs. We know they have injury histories where, at any given night something could go wrong, someone could go down, yada yada. The Sixers were trying to hide that information so they could sell as many tickets as possible. And then now, by the way, Joel's not going to be playing back-to-backs this year.
It just here's my thing, right? How do you allow him to go play for Team USA if he's not even going to be playing every night for you? It just makes no sense to me. Now, don't get me wrong. I do think that, serving the country, as, we say, that going to get an Olympic medal for them is very important. But it's also like, dude, you're not even playing a full season. You got to fulfill your duties to your contract before you go do anything else. If you're going to go do that, you better be playing as much as I need you to play. And, dude, the back-to-back isn't the problem. Here's an idea. Stop leaving him out there the entire damn game and he won't be injured. Pick the moments that he plays. Maybe he's not a starter every night. Maybe he comes off the bench. Maybe it's just he starts and he's only going to play a quick 15 minutes just to keep him in shape. The problem is, I can't figure why he's getting injured. I don't know. I feel like every time I watch a Sixers game, he doesn't come out of the damn thing. I don't get it. So this way, even so, fans get the best of both worlds. Hey, I did get to see Joel Embiid tonight, and everybody got to see him. Granted, he didn't play the entire game, but I still got to see him. I think that's a happy middle ground, and he could still get that conditioning of playing every day with, it's not going to be like the worst thing sitting out, but I'm not a fan of it, dude. You got a job to do. Go do it. And then you bring in Paul George. What is the point of bringing in Paul George if you're just going to be load managing him too?
Yeah, and Tyrese Maxey's out with a hamstring injury, so they're down their top 3 players tonight.
Do you have any faith in anything else on that team?
No. Caleb Martin? No. Kyle Lowry? No.
No.
Andre Drummond? No.
I like Drummond.
Although Jared McCain actually looked pretty good last night. He was hitting some threes. Might be a nice little young piece for Philly going forward. But speaking of last night, my New York Knicks, man.
Hold on. We got to come back to Cleveland. I promise we come back to Cleveland.
They're undefeated. What else is there to say? Kenny Atkinson's doing a good job.
I'm just asking you, is this sustained success? Do you believe that Cleveland's going to end up the number 1 seed at the end of this season?
No, I think it'll be Boston by the time it's all said and done, but I definitely do think Cleveland's a top 4 team in the East.
They're better than your Knicks?
I plead the 5th.
Okay.
I don't know. It's too early. It's too early to tell. Because, we're seeing Cleveland at full strength right now, 100% capacity.
Yep.
We haven't seen the Knicks at full strength yet this season, and we won't until December. Because Precious Achiuwa, who was a integral rotational player last year, has not played a game yet this year due to his hamstring injury. Mitchell Robinson, who, although he missed about half the season last year, was elite as their center, has not played yet this year, will not be playing until December, maybe even January.
On the defensive side.
On the defense, yes, thank you.
Because it sure as hell was not the offensive side.
Elite on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
And they're also missing 2 key role players in Campaign and Landry Shamet. And right now, I'm a little disappointed because Tibbs has the starters playing like 38, 40 minutes a night. And
that's what he does.
And it's November. But he wouldn't be doing that if they had the bodies off the bench, because they don't. He doesn't trust the rookies yet, so he's not playing them. And yeah, I'm getting a little worried that he's pressing too hard on the gas pedal way too early in the season. There is still so much basketball to be played. We're not even going to be talking playoffs until March.
You are so lucky Khalil's not here right now.
Oh, he'd be ripping me to shreds.
To shreds. And especially when you're playing against the Bulls tonight, this is a game where maybe the rookie should play.
Yeah, right?
You know? Like, it's not like Dude, you're not going up against the best that the league has to offer. You're going up against Zach LaVine and Kobe White. You know?
They're not scrubs.
No, it's just they're not... Like, it's not a team that's going to demoralize you, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know? I'm sorry, they also have Josh Giddey, I'm pretty sure. But, like, again, like, this is a game that you pick out of the schedule and went, guys are getting minutes.
Yeah,
and if they start messing it up, then we throw the starters back in there. But you give them minutes.
Yeah, I'd love to see Tyler Kolek and Pacome Dadier get some minutes tonight. And Ariel Huckporty, I think is how you say his last name. Because these guys... They need some time to play, to get comfortable, get acclimated, and then maybe Tibbs, you can trust them to play more than 8 minutes in a game. You know what I mean? I just, it's way too early in the season for these lineups to be for the rotation to be this small. It's way too early. But I mean, here I am worried about the Knicks. They're sitting at 5-5 right now, 4th seed in the East. So.
Well, I'll tell you who hit the panic button a little bit because we heard a star player and some trade rumors. They're sitting at 3-8. The Milwaukee Bucks right now, I have no clue what the hell is going on with them. 3-8 is just absolutely ridiculous. They do play the Pistons, so I do believe they will be back in the win column tonight. But
well,
dude,
didn't the Pistons upset the Heat last night?
Yeah, but I love the Heat. I don't have faith in that core. I feel like it just, again, it's like being in a relationship and you're in 2 different stages of your lives. One's looking to get married, the other one's looking to still go out and have fun. I'm not projecting here. I'm just saying, like, you see this happen. I actually think it's like a big reason why relationships don't work out. It's just because you're not in the same stage. And I fully believe that Jimmy Butler is in a win now mode, and I believe that the rest of the team, besides Bam Adebayo, is in hey, I'm young, I'm here, and I'm still looking to build for the future.
Sorry, I was having some camera things. Did you see that? It was like flashing.
Yeah, a little flash, Weird.
I should be good now.
We're all good.
Yeah, but no, go ahead.
So I just taking down Miami 2 years ago. I'm like, wow, they took down Miami. But now it's just like, dude, I think Miami needs to break up themselves. I mean, I actually think Miami needs to break up before the Bucks do, because I still think that the Dame and Giannis experiment could work. However, if they're saying Giannis is off the market, but they did say that if Giannis wants to leave, we will entertain it and look at the packages. So let's say, obviously the trade deadline's not for quite some time. So let's say Giannis does change his mind. I'm putting you on the spot right here. What team would you like to see him with the most fit-wise?
I want the Knicks to make a package with Karl Anthony Towns and to go get Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
You want to give up on it that fast right now?
Not necessarily give up, because, I mean, it's no secret that I'm not the biggest Cat fan in the world. I mean, sure. I was not excited when the trade initially went down. I mean, I've grown on it a little bit because Julius Randle is he's playing good in Minnesota, but he's having the same problems he had in New York where he's not always locked in on defense. His body language isn't always great. But I would like the Knicks to, go out and get Giannis if they can, because I just think he would elevate the team even more. Because, I mean, is Cat a better offensive player than Giannis? I would say, just because of the 3-point arsenal, I would say at this stage in both of their careers, Cat's the better offensive player. But what Giannis is able to do for you defensively, along with his offensive capabilities, I think it adds another dimension to the Knicks that I think would be, it might put them over the top.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. I don't see them giving up on that right now. There's no way they make that trade.
If they're still sitting around 500 and February rolls around, if they're not making that trade.
Okay, we could potentially talk about it, but right this second, I just don't see it happening. I don't think they're going to be sitting around 500. I do think that they're going to be amongst the top 3 teams in the East, barring injury, right? Which obviously could be a factor, but I'm going to be honest, dude. I know we talked about it before. I think I almost would hate to see it, but it'd be kind of cool to see. This is a Warriors move.
Yeah.
This is literally a Warriors move. You have the young pieces, I believe you have the picks, the young pieces, and you can throw a veteran like Wiggins in there to potentially get this done. You know, you do right by him by putting him in a win now situation. He's out of conference, so you don't have to worry about really seeing him. And it's exactly, you put Giannis on the Warriors, I mean, here we go, off to the races. They might have just won the West off of that move alone. I said what I said.
Really?
Giannis with Steph, are you kidding me?
That's, I mean, maybe like 3-4 years ago, that's enough off the rip to win the West. I don't think that's good enough to win the West right now.
Still putting up like 28 points a night. You know, you put Giannis in there, I'm putting, especially with the like, let's be honest, Jamal Murray's been declining, so my stock in the Nuggets have died just a little bit. I do not have all the faith in the Dallas Mavericks. The only team that I really think, the only 2 teams that you're really worrying about is OKC, and you're worrying about the Timberwolves. I'm a Lakers fan. I'm not even worried about them right now. Yes, they look good with Anthony Davis, but I'm not banking that Anthony Davis is staying healthy the entire year. I'm looking at those young cores and can they run me off the court. But what I will tell you is that while if my best players are on the court, I think they're going to outperform them.
I don't think it'd be enough to overcome. I'm with you on Denver. They're not as good as they've been in the last few years. I don't think the Warriors are better than Denver, even if they make a move for Giannis.
Okay.
I mean, they're definitely going to be a top 4 seed if that happens. I don't think they're an automatic favorite to win the West or be the number 1 seed for that matter.
They skyrocket in stock for me. You know.
I mean, I think they're 9-2 on the season, which is pretty impressive. I didn't see that coming going into the season.
Bro, I'm telling you, Steph is just playing lights out right now. Like, but what else? See, that's the thing about Steph, that it's different than these other guys, right? He is. I'm not gonna say he's not athletic. He's a damn NBA player, right? Like, he's athletic as hell, but his game is not particularly suited to his athleticism. Yes, the speed is a factor in there, but shooters age well. And when you're the best shooter of all time, I have to assume that you are going to age like not even a fine wine. We're talking like 100 aged cognac. All right? Like, it is just going to get sweeter with time just because the shooting's all about repetition. The more reps, the better it gets, right? So, I do believe that right now, if you can get somebody like Giannis to, take over that defensive side, take over that athleticism side, it's literally Andrew Wiggins on steroids, so it only gets better, personally. Imagine you have to deal with Buddy Hield, Steph Curry raining down threes, Giannis slashing in on you, and then on defense you got Giannis and Draymond hounding you. Right? I know I'm giving scenarios, whether it's Jimmy, whether it's Giannis, like these are moves that we could talk about. And that's another move, maybe, even. I could see him down in South Beach.
Giannis?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that too. The thing is, though, if you're Miami, or if you're Milwaukee, I should say, Miami is not as attractive as an asset giver than a Golden State is with those young players. You know what I mean? Like, Miami's got what? Jovic, Hero, and Jaquez. That's really it. Yeah,
it depends on what they want to go with. I don't think you're getting a Bam. I think it would be Hero. I don't think they would want to be necessarily invested in a Jimmy. I do believe that if they're giving up Giannis, they're not looking to compete now. It's okay. We've had our run. We got our championship. We've had our MVPs. it's time to rebuild. Personally, I don't know. See what happens. One last thing I wanted to touch on. Houston Rockets looking pretty good, and I think it's strictly due to coaching.
Ime Udoka, man.
I firmly believe this is the guy that the Lakers should have gotten when he became available. I firmly believe, I know that there was the scandal. I might sound controversial for this, but like I said, it was 2 consenting adults from all reports that we've seen. All right. Was it a little unethical? Sure. There was absolutely some cheating involved on both sides. But once again, that ain't none of my damn business. Okay? So what you do in your personal time, as long as you're not murdering anybody or doing, horrible, horrible crimes, it's none of my damn business. All right? And I think they messed up by letting him go, because if the Celtics had Ime Udoka, we're talking dynasty. People don't even want to talk dynasty right now, and this roster is stacked for the Celtics. I firmly believe that people don't have the faith in Joe Mazzulla that they did in Ime Udoka, and I firmly believe that if Ime Udoka had the talent like Boston has, or like the star caliber players that the Lakers have, I firmly believe he'd be sitting on top as a number 1 seed. I firmly believe that this guy is emerging. I've already believed him being a top coach candidate, but now the fact that he's got this Houston team looking this good, I know it's early on, but just the leaps and bounds of growth that I'm seeing from it, Ime Udoka will overtake Eric Spoelstra as the number 1 coach in the NBA for me.
I don't hate that.
Maybe not this season, but give it within the next 3 years, I think I will be calling Ime Udoka the number 1 coach in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely on that trajectory before the Boston, obviously, incident happened. I mean, he was handpicked by Brad Stevens to be the next coach of this franchise. So, yep. And Brad Stevens is one of the best basketball minds in the NBA right now, barring, Pat Riley and Danny Ainge you could probably put up there. But, I find that very easy to grasp onto. I think Udoka is definitely up there in terms of best coaches in basketball.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting. Speaking of coaches, I know Popovich is having some health issues. We want to wish him the best of luck out there. Where do you see the Spurs going, my friend?
Coaching?
Just in terms of a trajectory. I mean, sitting right now, 5-6, still competing. Most of that's off the back of Wembanyama. We talk about load management and how much we're against it, but that's a kid that it's like, I'm a little concerned I don't think there's enough help right now to put all the weight on him. Would you like to see them pull him back, let him go full throttle? What are you doing in that situation?
I think that's what they did last year. I don't think they let him do back-to-backs last year. I think they kind of were managing his minutes. This season, why not cut it loose? Why not see what you got? I feel like you want to see how far you can get with a Victor Wembanyama-led team. You know what I mean? Like you said, he does not have a co-star there. He's got 40-year-old Chris Paul with him, and that's really it. Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sochan. I mean, there's not a lot in San Antonio besides Victor Wembanyama to hang your hat on. And year 2, they'll probably, if they let things stand the way they are, they'll probably make a play-in spot. But they're not going very far out with just Wemby. I mean, they need some help.
Yeah, my other problem is that Vassell and Sochan, there's been 11 games. He's played all of them. The other 2 games and 7 games. So even like the next 2 guys haven't even been playing. So it's like, I don't even know what to do. I didn't even realize Harrison Barnes is on that team. I don't know, dude. You have an alien. I know that it's like the whole branding, but like you legitimately do. I mean, this kid is averaging 20 points. He's 10 rebounds and 3.9 blocks. Average.
Yeah,
dude,
he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year this year.
You have an absolute unicorn, and I don't know what to do with that unicorn because I don't have enough around him, and I don't know if there's enough assets to even attract something right now. I think free agency is where they're going to be looking.
Well, and I think you'll see that eventually guys are going to want to start playing with Wemby.
Sure.
Like, they're going to be like, I don't want to play against this guy. Well, I'd rather have him on my team.
One player off the top of your head that you would like to see pair up with Wembanyama.
Trae
nice
Young.
Pair. Wow. Okay. I don't hate that. That. Huh. Trae Young.
It's like
he's got enough defense to make up for both of them.
Saying.
You know?
That's what I'm saying. Like, and Trae Young, he likes to push that pace. You know what I mean? They could run the floor.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I would like to see Brandon Ingram. Just going absolutely just tall, too lanky snipers coming at you. I think that would be some fun basketball. I also believe that the Pelicans need to blow it up because it's just not going to be working out. But I think that would be something to definitely look out for sure. You know, I knew you were going point guard. I was thinking about a little guard action, not guard, a little wing action with them. You know, it should be interesting. I cannot wait. I know it's just the beginning. A lot of people always hate on the NBA. It's my second favorite sport, honestly. You know, and I'm not saying I'm excited for the Lakers, but it's the only thing that's keeping me in the sports world right now, not being completely miserable. So, you know, I'm with the Lakers.
That's how I feel about my Knicks, and also the fact that the Mets are going to sign Juan Soto. But
they're not signing Juan Soto. Stop this right now. If he takes the bag, he's going to end up with Los Angeles, dude.
No, he's not.
Why not?
Because the Dodgers aren't going to pay him that much when they already have all these other guys.
Why wouldn't they? There's no cap. I can spend whatever I want. Because what better way?
They need.
How many?
They don't need any more hitters. They need pitching. The Dodgers.
Are you aware that the way that they've structured Ohtani's contract, that it's just so team friendly that it's literally I can go have whatever I want. Pitching does not matter when I throw 10 runs a game on you. They're just shy of doing that. You bring in Juan Soto, who's already out in Los Angeles. Everybody's got to go out there to meet him for the damn meetings. Taking meetings in Los He's gonna be a Dodger, dude. I hate this so much. He's not.
The Mets will outbid the Dodgers.
No, they're not.
Steve Cohen is the richest owner in baseball.
That's fine. He's not. He's not outbidding him, bro.
Steve Cohen is going to offer him the most money of any team.
I guarantee you.
And I would bet you that. I would literally bet you that, Mazz.
I bet you right now he's not leaving New York to go to Queens. Not happening.
Queens is in New York.
Yeah, but it's like the armpit of New York.
I cannot wait for Soto to be a Met, and I'm going to rub it in your face so hard.
I hope, you know what? I hope if he becomes a Met, I hope it's the next Bobby Bonilla situation. All right? And you guys are just giving him giving him that check for years to come, never did shit for the damn team. All right? Because there's nothing more treacherous than leaving the Yankees to go to the Mets, unless you're going to Boston. But, I mean, we've seen that happen in trades before. But to leave a team that's in the World Series, I'm going to be hating him regardless if he leaves. All right? We just got to the World Series and now you're bailing. Right? Now, I will not hate him if, obviously, the other two teams are offering like $700 million and the Yankees aren't going to do that. That's fine. But if we're getting into that range, I do not see the Dodgers just getting blown out of the water. It's just not happening. Unless you're going to give him $800 million plus, which if you want to do that, be my damn guest. But I don't see it happening.
I think he's going to be a Met. I really do.
Do you think or do you hope?
Yes.
Because I'm hoping he's a Yankee. I'm already thinking he's gone, to be honest with you.
I genuinely, it is in my heart of hearts, I genuinely believe that the Mets are going to offer him the most money of any team in baseball, and he's going to take the most money.
Let's see what happens.
And then hopefully we'll bring Pete back, too, and we're running it back. I don't know.
Oh, now you want to bring Pete back. Now the Mets want
I've never not wanted to bring Pete back.
I didn't say that you didn't, but the entire team didn't want him. Pete's horrible. Pete's not clutch. Pete has horrible analytics, even though he cracks 40 home runs a year. Here we go. Pete comes up clutch in one moment. And we love him again. Pete, yay. Yeah, come on back. Woo!
Let's go Mets.
Stop. No, let's not.
Let's go Mets.
No, it's basketball season. Nobody cares. And I'm here to enjoy hoops. Because football has broken my heart and baseball has let me down. Thank you. That's a show. We're out.
You have been listening to the Mazz and Bad Show with Brandon Marrazzo and Charlie Baduini.